Hi, welcome to What in the World, and we are back exclusive here on What's in the World to talk about all events around the world. So what a mad, crazy month we are indeed. Can you believe it? What do you think about that, March Dean?
There could be some people there that are actually racist, but that doesn't mean that tarnish everyone with the same brush. As you say, if you're talking about 3 million or more people that were there, how can they all be like that? I mean, I doubt that very much. I would guess even between, say, you know, when you see like an aerial view of the picture of it and what happened and all the people, I bet if you took just a little square of that section and you got all those people in there and you got them to have a discussion with each other, I'm sure that they'd all disagree on a lot of things. So I don't think it's about they're all brainwashed or they're all this or they're all that. That would be a very narrow-minded view of seeing it. I think it's just the fact that, as you say, so many people are disgruntled with what's going on, that the fact that this is the biggest turnout that they've ever had for a march kind of tells you what's going on, really, you know? It's self-evident, I guess.
The tides are turning. I think there is a shift, and this is definitely a shift. We can't ignore it now. This is a thing that can't be ignored.
Yes, no, I agree. And I've noticed it's like if you ever heard the saying, like, the writing's on the wall? And that's straight from scripture, by the way. Obviously, we know that from the Bible, when God himself wrote on the wall against the king of Babylon, saying, you've been weighed, you've been measured, and been found wanting. And anyway, but the point is, what I'm trying to say is, it seems when you go online and you look up what videos are coming out and what people are thinking and what you're hearing from people, it seems like you say that the narrative has changed in a sense, and that it's more of a shift from one direction going to another, and it seems like there's more pressure on people that like Keir Starmer as a prime minister to resign more than ever, I think, and we can see that kind of coming along.
People are just fed up. The most controversial man in England right now, no, you either love him or you hate him, and I'm not swinging the gate and saying like him or hate him. I'm just bringing you what is the news right now. So I'm going to bring this man, he's Tommy Robinson, and just going to show a clip of his message on that free speech rally.
Around you, feel your strength. You are part of a tidal wave of patriotism that is sweeping across this country. This is your community. They is the spark of a cultural revolution in Great Britain. The traitors in Westminster are watching right now. They are cowering. They are trembling. Keir Starmer, the Labour Party, the revolution has started.
Love him or hate him?
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting what he's saying. It sounds extreme, but I can understand where he's coming from. I think he's a man who has been misinterpreted by a lot of people, and understandably so, because I think some of the rhetoric or things that he says or the way he shows himself seems to be radical and aggressive, maybe, because he often has an aggressive looking face when you see pictures of him even, and you think he always looks angry. So there is that. So I get where people are coming from on that front. I think you can only speak as you find, and I mean, I don't know the guy. I've never met him in my life, so I don't like to judge too much just based on what people say and think. Say we were all fish and you got the stream, and the stream just flows one direction, everyone wants to just flow in that area. Well, if everyone just flows the same as everybody else, you're just following that path because that's what they do, and let's just follow. I don't think that's the right thing. I think sometimes you need to be a salmon and go upstream and work out where everything's coming from. That's what I'm saying. Be a side to him that is racist, for example. I don't know. I think a lot of people just say he is automatically, but I don't want to just go with that without really knowing someone. That's what I'm saying. I think it's easy to quickly judge someone, and I don't want to do that, because what if their motives actually are pure or true or altruistic?
Well,
yeah, you've already put a barrier up.
Do your research. Do your research. Yeah. What is the temperature of the nation right now? What are people angry about?
It's changed, and things seem to be going into a different gear. We might have been going into reverse and thinking that was okay, but I think we've got to go forwards now. Seems to be two parties always taking charge, wouldn't it? You have Labour, you have Conservative, but you also have Lib Dem. If this goes ahead with the Tommy Robinson thing and Reform gain so much power, which they already have already, and take over, I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a shift. So instead of it always being, oh, now this year it's going to be Labour, oh, now it's going to be Conservative, you know, keep changing so many years or whatever. I think the shift is going to be now where it's probably going to be Reform Party and possibly Tommy Robinson's party, or a mixture of both, like a hung parliament. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be that more than anything else, because people have realised that they're going to have to vote in order to make change because of the situations we have. And before, it's like when we had Labour Party got enacted and in charge. The thing is, a large percentage of the country didn't actually vote at all.
All around our cities and streets, people have been raising their flags. So I'm just going to show you of a lady, and she's sort of explaining the reason why she's flying her flag.
There are St George's and Union Jack flags. It's the ripple effect of what started as a movement in the Midlands. So, is this pride or prejudice? The Brickfields area of Worcester is covered in flags. Carla's part of a group putting them up.
It's all about bringing the communities together. It's about love, peace, unity. Nothing to do with racism, as people keep stating. But this has brought people out. Everyone's coming out, and a lot more people are voicing their opinions now. Obviously about illegal immigration, undocumented males.
When you see all of these flags, all of these St George's flags around here, can you understand why some people might be a bit intimidated by that?
No.
Not at all?
No. My true belief is if you're in England, you should not be intimidated and you should not be insulted by the English flag.
And she got a point in what she's saying.
Practical, normal, wise thinking to me. I don't see how the national flag of a country being raised up in that country, the territory of that country, is an issue. I really don't. We've had a lot of irrationality. We've had scaremongering and fearmongering placed into people, and an objective, narrow-minded view of putting people down and pegging them down as, oh, that must mean they're right wing and that's racist, so that's wrong automatically. With the idea of propaganda is everybody uses it to their own method. During the Second World War, we, the British, did our own propaganda. We did propaganda against the Nazis. Now, you can understand that, because they're our enemies, they're the bad guys, and that's that. But then, obviously, if you were a Nazi, not that I'm saying that that's a good thing, they would say, oh, look at their propaganda, that's a load of rubbish too. It's all in perspective, that's all I'm trying to say. So, not that I'm denoting that that's okay, what they did and what they believed in, of course not. It was horrendous what they stood for and what they said and what they did and everything. But I'm just saying there's always two sides to a coin, and I think the problem is propaganda can be used wisely, or media or news can be used wisely, or there can always be a skewed narrative that pushes people in the wrong direction. And I think that's the issue.
Yeah, so it's to push in something, isn't it? It's to
they're trying to control
push in narrative.
Yeah,
division.
Why do they feel the need to control everyone and to force them in one direction? Can't we be free thinking? Can't we have our own opinion? Why do we have to be told what to think? Why can't we think for ourselves?
Exactly. And some people like to, but some people want to have that propaganda pushed on them. They don't want to think for themselves. They will follow the narrative of what powers that they tell them to think.
So if there's one side saying this and one side saying that, what you actually have to do, in my opinion, I would argue, is look at this side and look at that side. Compare the two together and come up to a decision on yourself, on your own mind, which one you think is right and which one you think is wrong. But a lot of people, what they do, instead of comparing the narrative of two things, is they just go, well, most people think that, so that must be right, and that's it. Boom, I'll follow that. That's a blind following. It's like sheep following sheep. Why would you do that? What if they're all jumping off a cliff? Do you want to fall off the cliff? I don't think so, right? Like lemmings, for example. It doesn't make sense to me. I think you need to be free thinking, look at two sides of the coin, compare them, and work out what that is. Because, I mean, if you did that with any information in life, that's the same as brainwashing, because the definition of brainwashing is to give information out to the exclusivity to all else. In other words, what you do is you push one line of thinking or one line of information, and you push out and omit, get rid of all the other information, don't even talk about it, so that that person, as they develop and grow up like a child in school, for example, will only have a one-sided mind view without knowing the facts of two sides of it. That's the problem, and that's brainwashing. That's the problem.
So I'm going to put on now Mr. Keir Starmer of what he says about the flags.
I'm a supporter of flags.
You are sitting with one. You've got a Union Jack behind you.
I've got one behind me.
Are you a supporter of people painting roundabouts and hanging them from lampposts?
Look, I'm the leader of the Labour Party who puts the Union Jack on our Labour Party membership cards. I always sit in front of a Union Jack. I've been doing it for years, and it attracted a lot of comment when I started doing it. And in our flat, which is upstairs from here, as you know, we've got the St George's flag in our flat.
So you're encouraging people to put up more flags?
I'm very encouraging of flags. I think they're patriotic, and I think they're a great symbol of our nation.
Yeah, he likes flags. Okay, so he's okay with everyone flying the flag.
I smell something fishy there. It seems strange to say one thing and then do another. And I think the facts speak for themselves. The proof's in the pudding, so to speak. And he can say that all he wants. But to me, that irritates me, him even just saying that, because you know full well he's lying through his teeth, I would imagine. That's my opinion on it. When you consider the evidence pointing towards how it's been pushed in the narrative of the news and everything, because, oh, this is far right, that's far right. And, you know, with the local councils removing them all and everything, well, if he's so for it, then please tell me why they're removing them and why they're repainting roundabouts and stuff like that. I would like to know, because he's in charge of the country, isn't he?
Yes. On the 10th of September, Charlie Kirk was shot. And so I thought we'll just do a talk about Charlie and let you know who this man was. I saw Charlie Kirk, I think it was 2020. It was these sort of elections and how we'd go out and explain things of how the world is going, you know, the climate of the times with young people. So it caught my attention. I thought, this man has got something to say. He was so articulate in speech. And it was just so sad that he was gunned down in that way in front of everybody. He does Turning Point USA, he's Turning Point UK. There's turning points, I think, around the world, isn't there, his movement?
Yeah, it was actually really impactful on a lot of people's lives. It's interesting considering, I mean, as he proclaimed himself, he didn't go to university, he didn't go to college, he's just a what they call high school graduate. And so he just went to normal school and he learned a lot of things himself. And when I saw videos on him talking to people that come from university and stuff, he was very articulate in his speech. He was very charismatic in his nature. And he often had a lot of knowledge and understanding of things that some other people didn't even do. He often ran circles around people, especially with arguments. And I think that's encouraging. And despite that, it's just a shame that he's now gone.
He's gone.
Do you think evil exists?
Of course.
In the world?
I mean, I'm an evangelical Christian. And just like, first of all, I just think that this materialist, secularist lie I saw at Cambridge, that everything is just atoms and matter. There's a supernatural domain. There's a realm out there that's supernatural. Every civilization that's ever existed acknowledged this, except the last 200 years we thought were really super smart because actually, no, we're just a bunch of subatomic particles and you're just a bunch of chemicals in your brain. No, there is a spiritual dimension. There is a supernatural realm. And of course, evil exists. As an evangelical Christian, we believe evil has kind of like a chief executive officer, Satan or Lucifer. And we believe Christ our Lord is not just the counter, but is the salvation for all of humanity. And I want England to believe that again, because you guys brought Christianity to so much of the world. I want the Church of England to get its mojo back.
I was going to say, do you think what's happening in the West over this, I'd say, 20 years, do you think what's been happening over the past 20 years is because of a lack of faith in, maybe not God, but just faith in something bigger than ourselves? Or
I would say yes. I mean, something transcendent. I mean, look, can a civilization continue when it cuts off what gave it life? Probably not. And that's what modernity is flirting with right now. And so then you get all these counterfeit religions. You get environmentalism. Why do you guys think you guys are doing this insane net neutral carbon stuff by 2050?
Net zero, yeah.
So you get rid of Christianity and then you get a substitute form of earth worship.
Can you see why?
Yeah. He was a very bold man, very charismatic. And I think it's the saddest part. It's not just the fact that he's gone, it's the fact that he's left behind a wife and children. So his wife and his children will grow up without a husband and a father.
Yeah.
That's the saddest part.
It's so sad. It's so sad. When I saw it, I was just like, oh my words. You know, he's sitting there.
Yeah. I will admit, I never expected that to even be a thing to happen to him, to be honest. Never.
No, I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was just shocked.
I just thought, well, hey, it's just a guy talking to people about things. Where's the error or problem in that? Never considered the idea that someone doing that would be shot. I don't understand that at all.
Just gone.
You would think in a so-called modern civilized society, if someone has a different opinion, that we would be mature enough to speak about it and talk about it, rather than think, oh, I know, let's go shoot him. That's just stupid. Who thinks like that, you know? That's like a kid having a tantrum over not having someone else's toy in a playroom, and because of that they go to whack them and the mum has to tell them off. You know, it makes no sense and it's childish. When you're a kid, you rationalize things like that down to, well, it's just how I feel.
Absolutely.
But when you become a big boy and a big girl, you put on big boy pants and big girl pants and accept the fact that people have different opinions than you. And you can get along with them still.
A gunshot wound. But what would you actually want to tell me if I have 30 seconds left to live?
boy, you got 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, you're about to meet eternal judgment. And there's only one way that you can get bailed out of that. And it's not all the good things you did or the moral scorecard. It's whether or not you have Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And that's the only thing that's going to matter. And so you got 10 seconds left. You're dying from a gunshot wound. And you ask the question, who is Jesus Christ? And the answer to that singular question, who is Jesus Christ, is the most important question for everyone in the audience. Not how much money you have, not how much good stuff you do. It is, who is Jesus Christ?